You have two choices in times like these. You can either curl up into a ball because times are tough, or you can figure out a way to forge ahead in this new world. We as Handyman are in one of the greatest industries to be in of all times, especially during times just like these. Some handymen are really struggling to find work, while others are looking to hire new people. Hi, friends. My name is Alan Lee from the Handyman Journey Consulting business page. I appreciate each and every one of you joining me tonight. We are tuning in here live on Facebook and on YouTube. If you guys are chiming in on Facebook, you will need to grant StreamYard access to your information on Facebook so that we can see your information over here on the chat section. If you are tuning in on YouTube, feel free to comment just like normal. We would love to communicate with you guys. This is a live like we always do. Tonight, we are talking specifically about how to hire your next or your first handyman employee. Now, there's a lot of different thoughts about hiring handyman employees. Some think it's completely impossible. Some think it's not needed because handymen are predominantly one-man crews that go out with a truck and try and forge ahead and make their own business work for them. But I'm going to walk you guys through the steps on how to hire your own employee for your business to scale your handyman business. So if you're interested in that specifically, taking your handyman business to the next level through hiring employees, then this is the video for you. If you're not, we're going to talk a little bit about that here in a second. But hi, friends. Welcome to this live video. I would love to communicate with you guys. I want to hear what your name is. Do you have a handyman business? How long have you been in business? And what type of marketing do you currently do for your business in this whole coronavirus new world? Leave me a comment here, leave me a chat forum, and we will get this thing kicked off as people chime in. So if you guys are new here, my name's Alan Lee. I'd love to hear what your name is. If you have a handyman business, how long you've been in business, and where you are located. I would absolutely love to hear it. So we're going to dive into this. We're also going to be taking some questions and comments as they chime in here. We have a lot to cover tonight. It's going to be really, really fantastic night. So at the beginning of this video, I portrayed we got Kyle Bishop here. What's up, Kyle? Tuning in from Facebook. Hey, Kyle, good to have you. And Kyle has been in business for almost 1 year. Hey, Kyle, can you tell us where you are located? Just for the people that are chiming in here, where are you located, Kyle? Kyle's been in business for 1 year. That is super awesome. Would love to hear you guys. I have been in business for a little bit over 4 years now, and it has been quite the up and down. I've had a lot of wins and a lot of losses, and through the handyman journey experience, my desire is to share that with everyone so that they can hopefully, have a little bit of a more smooth playing field than I did. So Kyle Bishop says that the advertising that he's been using is yard signs and Facebook groups. Awesome, man. And he is from Indianapolis, Indiana. Thanks for sharing that, Kyle. That is super exciting. So at the beginning of this video, I laid out that there's two different types of people right now in this new world. There's people that are really struggling in their business, and then there's people who are doing great and looking to hire their next employee or their first employee. And the thing that separates those two people is something that we discussed a few months back in one of our classes that we did on Facebook Live, and that was called the Marketing Funnel Strategy class. And if you're interested in that, we're going to tell you a little bit about that later. But that is really what is needed to get you to where you're at the point of hiring your next employee. We had about 60 guys go through that class about a month ago, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And some of those guys are now gearing up to take our next class, which is the Handyman Business Systems Domination class, which really focuses on hiring your next or your first employee. It's so amazing seeing these guys that just a month ago, some of them were ready to close down their doors, get out of this business because they couldn't find any work. This coronavirus thing was killing them, to now being in a position just a month later, a position to hire their first employees. It is absolutely amazing, and I'm so excited to get that class started. That class is starting here next week. We got Elijah Day. What's up, Elijah? He says, hi, Alan. My name is Elijah. I started my handyman business about 4 months ago, located in central Indiana. Hey, Kyle, is Elijah near you in central Indiana? That is so cool, man. I love hearing about people who just started their business. What's the name of your business, Elijah? What kind of stuff do you do? Do you do a little bit of everything? That is absolutely amazing, Elijah. I'm excited that you just started 4 months ago. We got Steve tuning in from YouTube. Aloha. What's up, Steve and Kelly from Maui? Hey, I sent you an email a little while back and was talking to Jason about you, Steve. That is excellent. Great to have you here from Maui. Excited to have you. We got Robbie Jeffrey tuning in from YouTube. He says, good to see you and hope your family and daughter are doing good. Been doing the work since 1993 and working for myself for about 2 years off and on. I'm finally going full time. Robbie, that is excellent. I'm excited to hear that you're finally going full time. Doing this since 1993, that is awesome. You probably got some great experience, a lot of good knowledge. It sounds like it would be fairly easy for you to take this thing and scale it. That is excellent. Yeah, as you know, at the Handyman Journey, we are all about helping people start up a handyman business or take their business to the next level, specifically through scaling your business with like a vision of maybe creating a franchise or selling your business down the road, but creating an actual business that is sustainable more than just you, right? So you can go off and do something else and still have your business bringing in money for you every month. That is our vision here. There's a lot of different handymen out there that have different visions for their handyman business, and that's absolutely great. If your vision is not to scale your business, if your vision is not to take it to the next level, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with staying a one-man business. In fact, it's probably a whole lot less headache. I mean, if you stay a one-man handyman business, you're going to have a whole lot less headache. Life is going to be maybe a little bit more, smooth for you, but you might make a little less money. You might impact a few less people, but that's definitely fine if that's your prerogative. But we are here to help the people who are striving for more, striving for greatness. When I first started my handyman business, there was no one out there to really look at in that sense of, hey, I want to create a handyman business, but not just a handyman business that's a job for me, not just a job where I go to work every single day and hammer some nails in and then I get a paycheck and I go home. I don't want just that. I want freedom. And there was no one out there showing me how to get that freedom through the handyman business. You could start up many other businesses that show you how to scale them, but that's not really in the handyman industry. So my plan is to take that same model and implement that into the handyman industry, where that we're not just creating a job for ourselves, but we are creating freedom, financial freedom, so that one day we can be sitting on a beach with our family, wherever we want, right? While our handyman business is still here operating, bringing us in money, whether that's through a franchise, whether that's through just a big handyman organization that you're the president, COO of. That is my mission, to help you guys to see that. And it starts with bringing hope to people. It starts with giving people hope for the next day, because a lot of guys, like I said before, we had guys in our marketing class just a month ago that were ready to quit, ready to close the doors, ready to give up on the handyman business because of this whole coronavirus thing hit. And it was just, everything was up in arms. They couldn't find work, this and that. We got them plugged into our marketing class, and instantly, off of the first session, they started bringing in new work. They started getting Yelp reviews. They started seeing a vision, a pathway for their business moving forward. So exciting. And now we're about to start the business systems domination class, where a lot of those guys that took that class are now moving into our business domination class, learning how to hire their next or their first employee. So excited about that. Okay, so let's get back to the comments here. Sorry, guys, I went off on a little tangent there. I would love to hear what you guys are working on today. How's your day been? How's your week been? What are some struggles you guys are having in business, in the work you're having in life? I would love to hear it. I'd love to talk about that. Paul Miller says, how would you pay an employee an amount per day or per hour? So if you have an employee, you're going to need to pay them per hour. You could definitely do a per day type thing, like salary type thing, but that particularly is usually held for what you call an independent contractor, which is a 1099. And that's a person that maybe you could pay per job or per day. You could give them a percentage of per jobs. That's a great way to start. There's nothing wrong with that, but I found in my business that it's more scalable if you do the employee model rather than the independent contractor model. And that is because having an employee, you can readily control the aspects, the more of the day-to-day things, right? There's a lot of like legality issues that if you have an independent contractor, you can't necessarily, for instance, give them a uniform. You can't say, this is how much per hour you're going to be making. These are the jobs that you need to go do today. These are the jobs you need to go do tomorrow. This is how you need to dress. You can't do this, you can't do that, right? Like, as an independent contractor, they have their own business essentially, and you cannot tell them legally what to do unless they are legally your employees. So you get into a lot of legalities there, but yeah. So Elijah Day says, I'm actually friends with Kyle. Hey, Elijah and Kyle are friends. That's awesome. No problem. Home repair is the name. No problem. Home repair. I love it, Elijah. That's great. Juan Martinez is in the house. What's up, Juan, from YouTube? We got H2O Gaming from YouTube says, I'm an electrician, so I need skills in other work sections like plumber work to become a handyman. Yeah, so H2O Gaming, that's a great question. You can start off doing electrical work as a handyman. You could start off with that and then start branching into other areas or other avenues of the handyman business as you see fit. So you could start off offering strictly electrical work, and then you can branch off into more work as the client's need, right? So say you're there doing an electrical outlet, and they say, oh, by the way, I also have a kitchen faucet that needs to be replaced. Maybe you haven't done a whole lot of them, but you've done some of them. You can be frank with the client, say, hey, electrical is actually my specialty, but I would be more than happy to tackle this kitchen faucet for you. I've done it in the past. I assure you I can get it done. And start, having customers allow you to do more work. That's how you can kind of branch into other areas. So I think that's a great question, H2O Gaming. And that would be a great way to, jump into different skill aspects of the handyman realm, but still focusing on what your strengths are, which is the electrician. So Robbie Jeffrey is in South Carolina. Awesome, man. Kyle Bishop says, Elijah is close. We bounce ideas off each other sometimes. Dude, I love that. And Kyle and Elijah, I love that about this Handyman Journey Mastermind group and this whole Handyman Journey network that we've created is that there's people that find each other that are close by that, like, they didn't know each other, but they live just towns over. And now they're like, hey, you're my handyman friend. And so passing ideas to each other, like, absolutely phenomenal community that we get going here. We got Rick Pye tuning in from YouTube. Hi, Alan. This is Rick watching from Ontario, Canada. I've been running my own handyman business since 2014. Hey, that's awesome, man. That's great. Part of when I heard Canada, I want to say A. Hey, A. I've been running my own handyman business since 2014, eh? I don't know if that's how you guys speak, but that's just how I'm a silly American, I guess. But that's awesome, bro. Rick, thanks for tuning in. We got Chuck Royer from Facebook. Hi, Alan. Started my handyman business 8 years ago. 3 Rivers Handyman, Cleves, Ohio. Awesome. That's great, man. 8 years in the handyman business. That is some great stuff, Rick. I'm excited for you. I mean, Chuck, sorry. Chuck, that's awesome that you started 3 Rivers Handyman 8 years ago. I would love to ask you guys, or I would love for you guys to ask me some questions here. You guys got any questions about handyman employees in general? We're going to get into that a little bit more about the secret to hiring a handyman employee is creating a system so that your business runs on systems rather than on people. And we're going to talk specifically about that here in a second, and creating those systems for your business so that your business can scale without you being at the helm all the time, basically. So Steve says that's what me and Jason Call were talking about, franchising and growing. Yeah, Steve, that is excellent. Steve, if you're interested in franchising and growing, that might be the next step for you, is take our Handyman Business Systems Domination class, which is starting this next Monday, August 3rd. Just leave me a chat here or a comment saying that you're interested in that, and I will let you guys know how to get involved in that class. But that's what it's all about, franchising, growing, hiring your next employee, going more in depth into this stuff. Going to be an absolutely phenomenal class. James Campbell says, hey, Alan, this is James from Tennessee. Lost my job due to this virus, but I've done electrical and plumbing for years on and off, so I've decided to start my own handyman services. James, you don't know how proud that makes me of you, brother. That is so cool, because it's like that. I think that's what makes the entrepreneurial spirit so great, is that when stuff happens, when we lose our job, when stuff gets thrown at us that we weren't expecting, we figure out a new way to forge ahead. James, that is excellent, and you are on it, bro. I'm excited for you. I think that's so cool that you lost your job, but yet you just went for it. started up a handyman business. We've talked about that. Like, that's the best worst thing that's ever happened, right? Is when you lose a job and start up something that you love. That's the best worst thing that's ever happened. That's awesome. We got Gladen Handyman LLC tuning in from YouTube. Says, I'm trying to hire my buddy on currently, but I don't make enough to cover workers' comp yet. How do I pay for help that isn't on W-4? So Gladen Handyman. So what might be a great step for you, depending on what your business looks like, is hiring a 1099 independent contractor. And you can get those people. Basically, they have their own business. So you talk to your buddy. You say, hey, buddy, you create your own handyman business. So say his name's Mike. You create handyman Mike, or you create Mike's handyman business. And you work with me on jobs, and I'll pay you, say, 30 or 40% of the labor on the jobs. So there's no workers' comp. There's no, taxes. He pays his own taxes and everything like that. So nothing comes out of your pocket. So at the end of the say you and him work on a bathroom remodel. At the end of the job, you guys take the labor. You give him 40% of that labor, and you take 60% of the labor. That is one way to figure out. And the percentage, you and him have to work out that partnership together. It's a different percentage for everyone and what works best for you. But that is one huge way to get started as an independent contractor. Like I said before, there's a lot of legality issues in an independent contractor versus an employee. So you're going to want to make sure you, look at all of your local laws to make sure that you are not doing anything illegal. Everything's on the up and up. But that is a much cheaper way to go about it. It doesn't, like I said before, it doesn't quite mesh with the type of business personality that we try and create through the handyman journey. But it's a great way to get kind of your feet wet into the whole employer realm of things. So great question. Chuck says, Three Rivers Handyman business is go for me. Awesome. Hey, we got Pete the Handyman here from YouTube. What's up, Pete? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Robbie Jeffrey says, having trouble finding good help around my area. The drugs have ruined people. Dude, I'm with you. Yeah, there's a lot of bad people out there. And I think that's the reason why you need to create a good system for your business. In the book, The E-Myth Revisited, Michael Gerber talks about how big businesses don't run on people. They run on systems instead of people. Now, that might sound really weird to you because we're like in the handyman business. Like, if we're not there, if we're not actual people hammering nails, then the money will not come in. That's totally true. But the business as an entity needs to run on systems rather than people. So that means there's systems that these people run on. So for instance, right, getting more into the hiring the employees, like customer relations personnel, you create a system around that customer relations personnel. So if there's absolutely any questions at all, that customer relations personnel, i.e. the secretary, refers back to the system scripts and says, what do I do in this area? What do I do when the client says this? And the script in the system, this is what you need to create, says this is exactly what you say to the client. And if need be, send this over to the customer relations manager. If need be, send this over to the COO president, right? There is scripts and systems that control every aspect of your business. So when a technician is driving up to a home to do a service repair, right? If they have any question about, should I be wearing this shirt that I'm wearing, for instance, I have this shirt on that I've never worn at work before. Should I be wearing this? Look back at your systems. Well, what does it say about uniforms? It says uniforms, must be this and that, whatever pertains to your business. And then they would find out if that shirt is applicable. Should I come up to the customer's house smelling like cigarette smoke? What does the system say about that, right? I mean, that's a pretty easy one, but you guys could probably figure that out. What should my truck look like? What should my tools look like, right? Like, there's systems and scripts for everything that your business runs on. So that if there's ever any questions, what do I do if I'm at someone's house and the client doesn't like the work I did? What do I do? Refer back to the scripts and systems. Those will refer you to who to go to and who to talk to. That might be referred to back to the service manager. That might be handle it yourself, give them a discount. Like, there's a whole host of options that you need to create a systems and the scripts for yourself. And if you guys are maybe perplexed by this, it's a very daunting task to create scripts and systems for you. We, as the Handyman Journey, are doing a very in-depth class starting this next Monday, August 3rd. That's going to be a week long. We still have a select few spots in the class. It's going to be a live Facebook class with me. If you want to chime into that, leave me a chat here on the chat forum or in the comment section, or email me at handymanjourney@gmail.com. We'll make sure you get plugged into that class. I'll get you the details on how to get registered for that. But the spots are filling up very quickly, so you're going to want to get into there as soon as possible. So Steve says, Jason, call advertising is the best. I would totally agree. Hands down, if you're looking for someone to do your website, SEO marketing, Facebook marketing, Google marketing, talk to Jason Call over at handymanwebdesign.com. Tell him that Honestly sent you. He is an absolutely phenomenal guy. Evan says, been at it for almost 3 years. Awesome, Evan. And I'm excited for you. I think you got some great potential in your business. Steve says, billable hours only. Kyle Bishop says, staining a deck. Oh, so Kyle's working on staining a deck, honeydew list. Oh, he does. Staining a deck, honeydew list, plumbing service call this week. My problem has been finding a work-life balance and working too much in the business and very little on the business. That is very good. So this week, that's the work he's been doing. That is one of the most problematic things as running a handyman business into a sustainable aspect, is finding that work-life balance and working too much in the business and not working enough on the business, right? That's the biggest thing about it, right? People, and if you don't understand that aspect of that businesses don't run on people, but they run on systems, then you're from that mentality of, I have to work on my business. Like if I don't work in my business, like if I'm not hammering the nails, if I'm not painting the deck, if I'm not, replacing the kitchen faucet, the money's not coming in. And that's totally true. It needs a guy to do that, right? But the other side of the coin, if you're not working on your business, there's no way your business will scale. There's no way your business will grow. There's no way your business will go to the next level. And that's for every single aspect of your business. If you're not working on your business marketing, your business will not grow. If you're not working on your business scripts, there's no way that it will scale. There's no way that you will hire your next employee. If you're not working on your, what am I trying to say here? I lost my word. If you're not working on your organization, there's no way that you're going to get quicker in the jobs that you do. If you're not working on your numbers, like I have here, there's no way your numbers are going to improve. What you track grows. What you work on grows. And Andrew Rowe from Facebook here. What's up, Andrew? He says, does anyone use Next Insurance looking to buy general liability insurance? Are there any good, or is there a better company you can recommend? Thanks. Andrew, great question. I'm sure other people have answered it here because I'm a little bit behind on the comments. But Andrew, great question. I currently use Next Insurance. I used to use a local provider. Well, I still use them for my tool insurance. But I recently switched to Next Insurance for my general liability insurance because they were quite a bit cheaper than the local provider, especially when I got more employees and it was actually based on pay structure. Because as you get more employees, your workers' comp, your general liability goes up because you are paying people more and having more overhead expenses. So I use Next. Next is a great place to do. There's another one down south in Southern California called Gas Lamp Insurance that I hear is pretty good. I don't personally have any ties with them. Next Insurance, I would recommend for you to do some research into them. Make sure that they cover what you need them to cover, because you don't want to, just get an insurance policy because it's cheap and then be on a roof and fall off the roof and find out that they don't cover you on a roof. You want to make sure you're covered, because there's no point in paying for insurance if it doesn't actually cover what you do. So, I could vouch for Next, but I would make sure that it works good for your company and the work that you do. Evan says, business is getting busier every year. I have a garage door subcontractor and a licensed subcontractor that I use for large decks and remodels, looking into getting an employee in the next year. Evan, that is awesome. Me personally, we have I guess a 3-employee team right now. I'm looking to hire another technician at least by next spring. It'd be nice to do it by the end of this year, and then hire an estimator um, near the end of next year. So I want to hire 2 more employees within the next year. That is my personal goal. Andre Williams says, I'm a locksmith. I would love to get into starting a handyman business. That is awesome. And having a locksmith capability is a great thing to do. Andre, I would love to chat with you a little bit. Send me an email over at handymanjourney@gmail.com. I would love to connect with you and talk a little bit about starting your handyman business. Baba Brown from Facebook. What's up, man? He uses Nextdoor, Andy. You could possibly look for a local rep. Yeah, that's a great deal. Look for a local rep. Um, let's see. We got Baba Brown is interested in the next class, so I will. I'm going to write down your name right here, Baba Brown. You were in my marketing class, so I will hook you up and I'll get you into the next business systems dominations class. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. So if you're looking for a Facebook private message, Baba, I'm going to send you one. But that'll be great. Steve says, if you do billable hours, you're charging your customers for hours, and so your employees get 4 hours, even if it takes them 2 hours to get the job done. You still pay them for hours. Yeah, that's a very good thing to do, right? Pay them for billable hours. What we do is we have a flat salary fee, so you get this much per 40 hours. But then if you meet these benchmarks per billable hours, so like if you bill, I just general perspective, right? So if you bill 25 to 35 hours, you get an extra dollar per hour. If you bill 36 to $45 an hour, you get an extra $2 an hour or whatnot, based on all of those 40 hours. So there is an incentive to go ahead and go above and beyond those 40 hours. But that's a great way to do it. Hey, Ryan Conrad's in the house. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you, man. We got Gallad Handyman LLC says, a friend of mine wants to join forces with his automotive mechanic skills. How do you handle synergy between 2 different but related skills? That's a great question, and that is something that you might want to look into. I don't know about everywhere, but I know at least about around here. If you want to work on cars, you have to have a what is it? It's it's like an automotive buyers and sellers permit or license or whatever. I don't know. You have to have a license, a specific license to work on cars. So it can get tricky. Like, I'm from the automotive background, but people ask me to, hey, change my oil or, put these tires on or do an alignment or whatnot. I turn that down because that's not what I'm licensed in. Like, I could get in big trouble by whoever it is, the licensing people for the whatever mechanics. By doing that. I don't know if that's everywhere, but I know that's here. So I would definitely look into that, Gladden. It's a great idea to, mesh those 2 skills. I mean, like, to have a mechanic come over, fix your windows, put in a kitchen faucet, and change your tires or change your oil while he's there. Like, that's an amazing thing. Like, a lot of people would pay for that. But can you legally do that? That's a good question. We got Vertigo. Can't hire employees. There will always snake you with clients if you leave them alone on the job site for a significant amount of time. So, Vert, that's a great concern. And we talk a lot about that. We're going to be talking a lot about that in our class here. Of there's a mindset shift that needs to take place when you're looking to advance in anywhere in life. Whether that is, getting involved, getting your marketing on point, creating systems to hire your next employee, create a business plan, whatever it is, even to deal with your kids or to deal with your wife, is you have to have a mentality shift. We are all programmed. We all default to what I call a victim mentality. Okay. And that says, I can't do something because this will happen. Okay. I can't do this because this result will happen. I'm afraid that this result will happen. Now, what I believe we've all been created to live in a champion mentality. So there's 2 different, there's a victim mentality and a champion mentality. We naturally default and are programmed by news media, everything out there, to be a victim mentality. But we are created and we are called to, especially as business owners and leaders, to be a champion mentality. Now, a champion mentality says that this may have happened in the past, but it doesn't mean that it's going to happen in the future. So even though something bad happened the last time I tried starting a business or saving money or getting married or having a kid, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen again, right? I believe that there's life and death in the power of the tongue and the power of the mind. The way that you think about things is often the way that your actions portray yourself through that. So it's very key to get that mentality on point. And you ask yourself, because we have to ask ourselves every single day, do a mentality check kind of. Are today, with this decision, with this choice, with this fear, with whatever we've been presented with, are we going to live in the victim mentality or are we going to live in the champion mentality? It's a question that each of us have. And the awesome part of it is we have the freedom to answer that. And we can live in that victim mentality if we want. If we say that I am afraid and I'm afraid to do anything because this will happen, then live in that victim and own that. Be like, I am choosing not to do this because I'm afraid. And I'm going to choose the victim mentality and I'm just going to live there. People do that all the time. And I would say there's something wrong with that, but if you want to live there, that's perfectly fine. But I believe that as a leader, as a business owner, as a person who forges ahead, as a community developer, as a hope healer, I am choosing the champion mentality. And I think that's what a lot of people need to do, especially in starting their business, starting their marketing, starting their hiring employees, because there's a lot of things out there, like people talk bad about that all the time. Oh, you can't hire employees because they're just going to stab you in the back. You can't find any good employees because they're all addicted to drugs. You can't find any employees because they've all went off and started their own business, right? If that was true, would you have businesses all around? Would you have auto shops with good mechanics? Would you have even the small ones? Would you have McDonald's without high school kids to work in it, right? Would you have big manufacturing plants? Would you have Coca-Cola that has people that work for them? Would you have that if every single employee is going to stab you in the back? If every single employee is going to steal everything you got, would you have these big companies? Would you have Apple and Microsoft? Would you have, like, you know what I mean? You guys understand what I'm saying? Like, maybe because it's never been done as a handyman for a handyman business, some people say, oh, it can never be done. But I'm here, the handyman journey is here to say it can be done, and we're going there, baby, which I'm excited about. Sorry for that little tangent, but great question, Vert. I love that. If you guys got any more questions, fill them in. These are some great questions. Keep them coming. Baba says, do you try and just focus on certain types of work? Yes, Baba. You need to niche whatever you do. You need to find the work that meshes with your business so that you can really become a master of that work. The work that we do is kind of broad in a sense, but it's not. We do what I call honey-do list items, right? So these would be things like kitchen faucet replacements, garbage disposal replacements, gate rebuilds, small sections of fence rebuilds, fence post replacements, toilet repairs, toilet replacements, ceiling fan installations, blind installations. Trying to think of a few other ones that we've done recently. Cabinet pulls and cabinet drawer installs, pre-manufactured gazebos installations or building and assembling, right? Furniture assembling, TV mounting, things like that. And it's important to niche down and really just say these are what we focus on, because if we focused on a whole wider range of things, yeah, we would probably get more jobs, but we wouldn't be as focused and able to perform certain tasks well, right? Like, for instance, we don't do tiling. We don't do a whole lot of painting unless it's drywall repair that we have done. Then we'll go ahead and touch that up if they have the paint. We don't do stucco repair. We don't do roof repair. So there's a lot of things that we don't do. That's just because we have niched down and we're like, this is what we're going to be focusing on so that we can get really good at these specific items. But great question, Baba. Great question. AM says, please focus on quality content, how to. So you're saying I should make more how-to videos. I love doing how-to videos. Those are fun. Is that what you think? Like, I'd love to hear that. Let's do that. How about you guys tell me what kind of videos you would like to see on YouTube? Would you like to see more how-to videos? Would you like to see more business videos? Would you like to see more business growth videos? What kind of videos? That's just kind of an off-the-wall topic. I love to hear you guys. Okay, Bishop here. We use Thimble. Bayo says, "Hi, Alan. What's up, man? Good to see you." Marcus says you're from Facebook says your videos have helped me a lot. Helped me a lot to grow my home improvement business. Thanks, brother. Love it, man. Thank you so much for chiming in here and saying thank you. I appreciate that. Donald Lee says, I'm surprised going to someone's house to plug a tire or change the oil is not allowed in California. Does this apply to high school kids making extra summer cash? Yeah. So it's crazy. I'll tell you, Donald, because there's been court cases that say someone, well, I went to automotive school, right? And one of my instructors told me a story where he was an auto mechanic. And then after work, he was at his friend's house and his friend just got this new girlfriend. And the new girlfriend, she was driving, she had a VW bug and she was driving and something happened to it. I don't even know what. Something happened where they were stranded. He's like, oh, I'll fix it real quick, so he fixes it. And so she says, oh, I want to pay you for that, right? And he says, well, I can't legally take any money for that or else I'll be breaking the law, right? So she makes him cookies. He takes cookies and he eats them, right? And a few months later, she needs her oil change or whatever. And he's like, okay, I'll change your oil. And then she offers to pay him. And he says, no, you can't pay me, because I'll get in trouble. So she makes him cookies or this and that. And well, anyways, years down the road, his best friend and that girl break up. She goes loony, gets on drugs or whatever. She ends up taking him to court. My instructor, she takes him to court saying that you illegally worked on my car and received payment for it. And he says, but I didn't take any money. But the court says you took the cookies that she made for him. Like, that's some crazy stuff. And I totally don't agree with that. But that's the legality of it. And he got in trouble for that because he illegally worked on someone's car and took payment for it. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So now I don't know if you could come in and say, hey, I'll clean your gutters and I'll change your oil. And the oil change is free, but the gutters are an extra $50. Like, just raise them $50. Like, I don't know. Like, so then I don't know. I don't know if that works or not, but I'm not the expert on legality issues, but all I know is it's crazy. And I don't even want to go down that rabbit trail. That's why some people have asked me, like, because I used to be an auto mechanic. They're like, well, why don't you start up your own auto mechanic shop, like with all the business stuff, And I'm like, I don't even want to get in that. Like, there's so many regulations in that field. There's a lot of regulations here, but about everything. But specifically the handyman stuff. I mean, you got OSHA, you got environmental controls, like where my office is, there's an auto shop right there. Actually, the auto shop I used to work at is right there. I could see the back of it. So because I'm now renting an office space that's right behind the auto shop that I used to work at before I started this business. So it's kind of funny. But so I'm always looking, that's why I'm looking this way. But like, you got used oil, you got used coolant. That's environmental stuff that you got to make sure is maintained and controlled. And yeah, there's a lot of liability when you get into the automotive industry. Pete the Handyman says, really sounds like you've outgrown the handyman business. Take the leap and get your contractor's license. You are more than ready, bro. Pete, I appreciate it. That I keep going back and forth on that, man, because the thing about the handyman business, I am really falling in love with helping people start up their own handyman business and really seeing that vision. And as a contractor, I feel like I would be losing that connection with the guys that are maybe like, I've heard some amazing stories. I've talked to some amazing guys. I've helped guys get out of industries that they hadn't liked and start their own handyman. Like, I've helped people who have been a school teacher their whole life transition to start their own handyman business. I've helped people who have been, people in the food industry, people in the engineering industry, people in the distribution and warehouse industry start their own handyman business. Like, and I feel like if I was a contractor, I would lose that connection because I'm a contractor, no longer just a handyman. That's really my passion above and beyond the handyman business, is helping people to get out of the careers that they hate and into something that gives them freedom. But Pete, I really appreciate you speaking that into me. And that's something that I might do in the future. I don't know. I'm not sure. Steve says, our goal is to help everyone be successful. And if they want to start their own business, then you have a lifetime friend. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love it. Vert says, great response. Thanks. You're welcome, man. Appreciate it. David Brammer says a big business can take that hit a lot easier than a small business can. That is very true. I mean, because there's bigger numbers that you're dealing with, you know? Okay. Donald Lee says, okay, the auto repair issue might actually be a Sacramento County zoning ordinance and not related to needing a California business license. Have no clue. It might be Sacramento County. I don't know, but that's interesting because, well, this is Sac County, but just across the border where I live is in Placer County. So who knows? A1 Beltran says, hey, are you hiring contractors or employees? I'm currently hiring employees. Let's see. Next question. Joshua, keep the questions coming, guys. This is awesome. I love chatting with you guys. This is an absolutely great conversation. And anything you guys want to talk more about in regards to employees, I would love to talk about that. And again, we have that awesome class coming up called the Handyman Business Systems Domination class that will be starting this upcoming Monday, August 3rd, 2020. If you're watching this, next year is 2020. And you can leave me a chat or a comment section or send me an email at handymanjourney@gmail.com. I'll be sure to get you the information, registration details for that. It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal class. So Joshua Adams says, is your business bonded and is it a good idea to be? Well, so it's a good idea. I mean, no matter what, we as handymen are not required by law to be bonded. If you were a contractor in California, you would be required to be bonded. So we're not required to be, so we're not. But it would be a good idea, especially if you're doing bigger jobs, to be bonded. We do predominantly smaller jobs. So if things do go awry or if we break a piece of furniture or things like that, we can usually pay for it out of pocket. We don't have $15,000, $20,000 homes or remodels that we're working on. So we can typically pay that out of our pocket. So Vert says, I'm in Vegas. Where are you at? I am currently in Sacramento, California. Let's see here. Andrew Rose says, how-to videos are mainly what I look for, especially when I'm doing a job I haven't done before. Yeah, that's totally me. That's how I've learned most of the work I've done. I went to YouTube University, they call it. So whenever I have a job that I don't know how to do, like right now, I am researching heavily about installing septic tanks and installing, wells and things like that, building foundations for homes, because eventually within the next few years, we're going to be buying a piece of property, building a home on it. Bringing in the connections so that we could possibly build a home or sell that piece of land and buy another one. That's kind of up in the air. But so I've been really researching and really been digging into that kind of stuff that I don't know. Today it was, septic tanks, and really learning about that has been very interesting. Not necessarily because I want to do that as a handyman, but because I will need to do that when we buy our future property. So YouTube is amazing for that, and that's why I create how-to videos specifically for that. So, Steve says it's only in California, so that may be. Baba says, in most states, you have to be licensed in most professional trades. Steve says, sorry, working and talking into my phone at the same time. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. So I am going to need to jump off here, guys, but I wanted to talk a little bit about creating systems for your business. So as we talked before, big businesses are not run on people, but they're run on systems and strategies and scripts so that your business can run virtually without you and you operating as a COO. The first step for that is to create a business organizational chart for your business. So that looks something like, at the very top would be the COO, the Chief Operating Officer, the President. And then below that, you have managers. So you might have the service manager, you might have an accounts manager, you might have a marketing manager, and then you might have a customer relations manager. And then below those, you have the actual working position. So you have the the guy who's running your marketing, right? That might be a firm that you hire. You have the guy who's running your accounting. That might be your wife. That might be a firm you hire. That might be you. And then you have the technician. That's usually us getting started, right? And then you have the customer relations personnel. Now, at the very beginning, when it's only a one-man show, you are all of these people. You're everyone to your business, right? And then you create that business organizational chart of all those people that's going to be in your business. It looks different for every single business. That's just how our business currently runs, and that's how we teach other people to run their business, because that's what we found has been the most successful. And then you create scripts and systems for each position. I recommend starting with the customer relations personnel, which is the secretary. Create systems and scripts for that person, and then hire that person. Once you get that person in there fully operating, you now move up to the customer relations manager. You're still operating as a technician and all of the other people, but you have the customer relations personnel that's operating independently. Your next hire would be a technician. Once you create all of your scripts and systems for the technician, you would hire a new technician. At that point, you would move up to the service manager. You can continue to be the technician if you wanted another technician, but I find it best if you move up. Another position that we've created next to the technician is the estimator. That is what I currently do. So we have at the very bottom, the working roles, you have the marketer, you have the accountant, you have the estimator, the technician, and the customer relations personnel. So I am almost out of my bottom line. So my next bottom line my next bottom line hire would be the estimator, and then I would move up to the service manager. So I'm going to hire one more technician and then an estimator, and then I will be moving up to the service manager, and then fulfilling all of the managerial roles. So so hopefully within 1 year I'll be into a strictly managerial position. But we will see how things go, see how the systems get implemented. If you guys are interested in dissecting your personal business and finding out what systems and scripts would work best for your business to hire your next employee so that you can actually start making more money and scaling your business, then you need to email me at handymanjourney@gmail.com. I'll get you the information and the registration information about this next Handyman Business Systems Domination class, which starts August 3rd. But I'm gonna sign off here, guys. Make sure you email me or leave a comment down in this video. I would love to get you involved into that class. The class seats are filling up very quickly, so you're going to want to get in as soon as you can. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate all of your comments, all of your love. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and we will see you later. And I hope to see you on the Business Systems Domination class this next Monday. So you guys have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you later.